Now on display at the National Museum of the American Indian in Washington, the glistening glasswork of artist Preston Singletary. We take in the show with Lilia Luciano.
An immersive play of light and shadows tells a tale of the beginning of time.
You know, I'd come to now to think about the shadows as kind of a spirit within the piece.
Yeah.
It's something that, you know, when the lighting is just right and all of the luminous qualities of the glass and how it really had this mystical feel to it.
The exhibition illustrates a Native American folktale entirely in glass.
Walking in here, I'm just shocked at the size of this canoe and the river. I mean, everything is glass.
Yes.
Raven and the Box of Daylight is a traveling exhibition created by Preston Singletary, a member of the Tlingit tribe of Alaska and the Pacific Northwest. The show, which travels next to Norfolk, Virginia's Chrysler Museum of Art, tells a story of how the world gained daylight thanks to the insatiable curiosity of the white raven.
Raven is kind of a supernatural being. He's a trickster and he's a shapeshifter. He can change form. This is a time when the world is in darkness.
Right.
And so Raven decides that he wants to find this daylight.
Singletary is something of a shifter of shapes himself, taking glass and changing it into the distinctive forms of traditional Tlingit art.
I always say that Native culture has a defining historical connection to glass because it came through trade beads. You know, it was something that it was special. You know, Manhattan was traded for, for beads or whatever. But they were quickly used, adopted into the culture and used for ornamentation or trade or whatever.
In the hands of Singletary, the two worlds come together as glass takes on new contours, and he carves through sandblasting to reveal layers of color and meaning.
When I work with the material of glass, I feel like it brings this new dimension to indigenous art, and it really has an opportunity to draw people in. And so when you draw them in, then you're kind of showing them something. And I like the idea of glass having a sense of permanence, but it's also very fragile.
Singletary got his start working at a glass factory making Christmas ornaments out of ash from Washington State's Mount St. Helens 1980 eruption. But it was here at Pilchuck Glass School, founded by the legendary Dale Chihuly, that he started to shape his signature style of old meets new. You could say the real test was when he showed his work at Celebration, an annual gathering of tribes in Southeast Alaska.
I think they were kind of taken aback. I mean, they were kind of like, there was no real comment about it. I remember an elder was like looking at this competition. There was this juried art competition, and I had some of my pieces got included. And they said, yeah, so we got these pieces here, and these wood carvings, and these beautiful baskets, and now we have glass. And it was kind of cool because it didn't, they didn't criticize it or judge it. And I think that that's really the point. If you talk to anthropologists and people that like to know the facts, and they're like, well, that was never done before, and so that's so that doesn't really have any place.
So it can't be traditional.
Yeah, it has to be traditional, but really that just kind of keeps you in this sort of cultural corral.
And that cultural corral is one myth Singletary would like to shatter forever.
I like having that opportunity to really kind of make a case for indigenous art, I'll use more broadly, to come up into the contemporary art world. That's what I'd like to do.